Well, today we're going to try to build a CIS fuel injection pressure kit. We've got a snap-on master kit that contains several items that do not fit a CIS system. It runs approximately 5.6 bar, actually 5.2 to 5.8, but about 5.6 is average. Bar converted over, that would be about 81 psi. So we're going to try to convert this, which threads directly onto a fuel rail, to a vehicle that never had a fuel rail. So what we did is we bought a few pieces, a couple of adapters so that we can do that, a little bit of fuel line, some hose clamps, a couple of extra pieces from the master fuel injection kit from Snap-on Corporation to try to adapt it to fit the entry point for the CIS fuel system. What we did first is we got a little connector with a ferrule so that it can thread directly onto the end. From that, we will place a piece of fuel line onto the end of it, all the way up flush like so. We'll place a clamp here later. The fuel line that come off originally from this location threaded on, so we're going to put this little connector onto the end of the line, which is on the car, and I can't show you, but originally it connected together, so we need to have a T-fitting.
We'll do that in part 2.
Part 2 will cover how we set it up on the CIS system that's on the 1986 Rolls-Royce. So we assemble these items. This is going to be a pre-assembly that we will finally put together with hose clamps after everything is finished. And then we'll test it on a different Rolls-Royce than the one that we're going to show you for connection, because the one we're going to show you is here, and the Rolls-Royce we need it for is not.
But it is KJet, and it functions for all KJet systems for the most part.
That is very true, Alex. It fits all the KJet systems. So the first thing we do is we put all the pieces together, nice and snug. It will run 81 psi, so you definitely want to use hose clamps on all this, even though it does look like it's pretty stiff to work with. Then we'll place the rest of the items together. Make sure you get them in far enough to actually put a hose clamp on them. That's half the battle. And sometimes that's more difficult than it appears. If that happens, then you're going to be looking for some type of lubrication. And I usually have something, but today everything I'm looking for is gone, as usual. Never seems to fail. So we don't have the lubrication stuff that I needed, so we're going to go to the next best thing. Doesn't matter really what it is, as long as it's got lubrication principles. This is a mineral oil used for Rolls-Royces. It's quite slippery. We're just going to use that to mildly lubricate the inside of the fuel line. Won't hurt anything, it will burn. Besides, we're not going to be using that much of it anyway. It's a little bit of dribble on the ground, but it lubricates and makes everything slide together so much easier. So that is the concept behind that. That way we can slip everything together just with a little bit of mineral oil. Normally I don't have to pour something out of something this size. I usually have something a lot easier like a spray. But since I don't have that handy, because it got away, we'll use what we do have. Now the concept behind this is to make a fuel line adapter that will let it go to the fuel pressure regulator and to the fuel pressure head so that we can read the gauge pressure. To actually do the fuel pressure test, you will have to have a remote starter switch and some jumper wire, and you connect to the positive terminal on the fuel pump, connect it to the positive point under the hood or battery, and at that point you press that button, it'll engage a fuel pump and creates fuel pressure. When it creates a fuel pressure, that will then be read by the gauge. The way this whole unit goes together with the pieces that I've made, and again I will be putting hose clamps on all this, is that one side connects in here, one side connects here, then that connects to the fuel rail, this then connects to the hose that it came from, like so, and then this little connection on the gauge connects at the top, like so, and once it's connected to the car, it will read fuel pressure. And that's all for today, Alex.
Alrighty. We'll have to do a part 2.
Yep, definitely.